Hi guys, tonight's lesson is lesson 61, using letters to identify geometric figures. In geometry, we often use letters to refer to points. We can identify polygons by the points at each vertex. So if we look at this triangle first, to name a polygon, we start at one vertex and move around the perimeter, naming each vertex in order until all vertices are named. So if I were to name this triangle first, I would start at A, and I would name the triangle A, B, C. And to write that, you draw a little triangle, and you write A, B, C. Now there are a few different ways to actually name this triangle. I could also name it triangle B, C, A. I could write down triangle B, C, A. And this triangle could be named BAC. Just as long as when I'm naming my shape, I have to go in order of each vertex. And the same goes for when you are naming another polygon, and this one is a rectangle. So if I were to name this rectangle, I would put rectangle A, B, C, D. Now, if I were to tell you that I named this rectangle ACBD, why would that not work? If you said that the vertex or the vertices are out of order, you are correct. I can't name a shape ACBD if that's not the order of the points. The points tell you the shape and the order that the vertex or the vertices are named. So this is rectangle A, B, C, D, not A, C, B, D. Alright, now we are going to name a line. And we know that this is a line because lines go on forever. And these two arrows at the end of each of the line segment tell us that it's going on forever in both directions. So we name a line by naming any 2 points on the line. So we have points A and B. So we would call this line AB. We could also refer to it, and it'll look like this, line AB, with a little symbol on top. And this symbol is a line with 2 arrows above it, indicating that this goes on forever, and it tells you that this is a line, and it is called A and B, with a point of A and a point of B. Alright, now we are going to name this ray. And when you name a ray, you have to always name it with the end point first, and then the line point, which is going on forever, second. So if I were to name this ray, I would say ray AB. And the other way to name it, which is an abbreviation, is AB and a little dot and an arrow, basically making a small ray. Now, if I were to name this ray BA, that would not make sense, because in your little abbreviation you even show that the arrow is pointing this way and that your endpoint is first. Alright. Next we're going to talk about this shape down here. We may name any angle using a single letter at its vertex. So if this is angle B, you see that right here, angle B. And this is angle A and angle C. Now, you can name an angle, angle B, just as long as it doesn't get confused with any other angles. Now, if I look at angle D, I could not just write down angle D, because if you see, there are actually a few different angles that could be called angle D. Right here, this could be angle D, this could be angle D, and this straight line could be angle D. So, if we are going to name angle D, we have to be more specific. So we would say angle CDA. CDA. And if I wanted to talk about this angle over here, I would say angle CDE. E. D, E. Alright, and that is how you label or name angles. Now for our first example. In a rectangle, ABCD, name the segments perpendicular to AB and name the parallel segments. Go ahead and pause the video and you can try this one on your own. Alright, each angle of a rectangle is a right angle, so we know that it's going to be exactly perpendicular, which means that it makes a 90-degree angle. So we're talking about here line segment AB. So I'm going to go ahead and find that, which is right here. So now I want to know the perpendicular segments to AB. So which two line segments are going to give me a 90-degree angle? I'm going to go ahead and look right here. See, this line segment DA makes a perfect 90-degree angle. So I would put DA with a line above it because that is a line segment. And also line segment CB. Now you could also write them backwards. This could be line segment BC and AD, or the same as DACB. Now it says name the parallel segments. So we're still talking about AB, which is right here. And what is the line segment? Or that is parallel, meaning they are going on and on forever and they will never ever touch. If you answered DC, line segment DC, you are correct. Or CD. But these two lines right here will go on and on forever and they will never touch. Alright, and the last example for tonight, if you want to pause the video, you can go ahead and try it yourself. And it says, the length of segment PQ, right here, PQ, is 3 centimeters. PR is 8 centimeters. What is the length of QR? So, one way to do this is setting up kind of a formula. And what it looks like is, I'm going to put L for length. The length of segment PQ plus the length of segment QR is going to equal the length of segment PR. And now let me show you what that looks like on our line. So the length of PQ right here, here to here, plus the length of QR gives us this whole entire length. So this is kind of the formula, and I'm going to plug in the numbers that I know. So I know the length of PQ, because it tells me right here, is 3 centimeters. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right here, 3 centimeters. And PR is 8 centimeters. PR. So this whole thing is 8 centimeters. So what I'm trying to find out right now is the length of QR. So if I have this problem right here, which I'm sure you can do in your head, 3 plus what number gives me 8 centimeters? And if you do that quick mental math, you should be able to get, I'll put it right here, L equals 5 centimeters. Or QR equals 5 centimeters. And you can always go back and check. So I would go back and plug this in for 5, and I already know that this is 3 centimeters, and if I add them together, I get a full 8 centimeters, which it tells us in our problem. Always go back and try and plug in your numbers to make sure that they work, and that way you are sure that you got it correct every single time. Alright, for your lesson practice, down at the bottom right here, I'm actually not going to read them because the problem says use words and draw an example for each figure. So this is BC, and this is CD, and PQ. Okay, this one has an arrow that way, arrow, arrow, and this one does not have an arrow. Alright, I will see you tomorrow, and I will be checking your lesson practice before you head down to specials.